Welcome to the session on Indicator 12, Early Childhood Transition from Part C to Part B. I am Kathy Gilson, an Early Childhood Consultant here at State Support Team Region 3. Jillian Alley, another Early Childhood Consultant, and I will be supporting districts with Indicator 12 findings. Please reach out to us with any questions you may have after reviewing this session. SST support is required for districts that have non-compliance findings with Indicator 12 and are available for those that have data reporting errors. Our contact information will be on the last slide. If you would like a copy of the slide deck, access it through the URL on this slide. We held an overview session on February 3rd that provided general overview to this process of responding to special education indicators. To access that presentation, visit this link to see what you missed. The session covered a review of the indicators, required actions and timelines, a resource for supporting root cause analysis, tips for completing the self-review summary reports based on some notes from OEC, and information on the new improvement plan formats. As always, we start with Ohio's strategic plan. This plan maps out how Ohio will support all learners to reach the goal of not only graduating from high school, but to be well prepared for life after graduation. It includes 4 learning domains, 3 core principles, and 10 priority strategies. Our youngest learners are referenced throughout the plan, which call attention to the whole child. Each Child Means Each Child addresses Ohio's plan to improve learning experiences and outcomes for students with disabilities, starting with preschoolers. The plan focuses on development and implementation of an integrated model of statewide multi-tiered system of support. Additionally, we are called to implement multi-tiered systems of support to promote equity. The overview session showed this slide, which is a complete list of the indicators and their numbers and names. Note the first question, which is the one for Indicator 12. Are young children with disabilities entering kindergarten ready to learn? The only compliance indicator for early childhood is Indicator 12. The other indicators are progress indicators and will be addressed in the Early Childhood Supervisory Network at a later date. The data for Indicators 6 and 7 generally comes out in May or June of each year and will possibly be used in the future for progress monitoring. Here's the definition of Indicator 12. Note that the IEPs need to be developed and implemented by the 3rd birthday. That means services begun. If birthdays fall on the weekend, school breaks, including summer, the services must begin on or before the 3rd birthday. It could be that the services begin on the Thursday before the birthday or before the break. If an alternate day is chosen by the parents and EMIS noncompliance code is used to tell the story along with the PRO1 explanation. We will address EMIS codes more fully later. When we say compliance indicator, in this case, we mean that 100% of children transitioning from Part C must have IEPs completed and implemented by the child's 3rd birthday. To ensure this is the case, ELSR compares the child's date of birth to the initial individualized education program effective start date, as listed on the IEP. This effective start date must be on or before the 3rd birthday. There are a few exceptions to this rule that we will discuss on the next slide. The data ELSR looks at is submitted by each district through EMIS. Previously, ELSR looked at data from each fiscal year separately, but now the child's complete records are reviewed, even if they span EMIS years. Here's an example of how the data is calculated. If you want more information, access the description of compliance calculation link on the slide. Now we're going to talk about EMIS reporting. there are 2 additional slides that address more EMIS information following this slide. So it's important that you report the situation accurately, and so you use the correct code for the situation you're describing. So there are several EMIS codes. They're all called non-compliance codes. Some are acceptable for indicator 12, meaning that you will not get a finding. Others are, while it's the correct code to use, they will result in an indicator 12 finding. For example, 03, staff not available in the summer perhaps, is not an acceptable for indicator 12. You'll get a finding. 04, schedule conflicts with families. While it might explain the situation, it's not an acceptable non-compliance code to use, as it will result in an indicator 12 finding. 05, parent choice. Parents deny or delay evaluation or meeting. The parent's scheduling conflicts. The parent wishes an alternate start date. Make sure to document this well with PRO1. And this is an acceptable non-compliance code. You will get no indicator 12 finding. 06, parent refused consent. Again, this is an acceptable non-compliance code. There will be no indicator 12 finding. 07, child's health. An acceptable non-compliance code regarding indicator 12. There will be no finding. 09, incorrect missing data reported in a prior EMIS collection. It's an acceptable non-compliance code, and there will be no indicator 12 finding. There are several additional items to keep in mind regarding reporting to EMIS. If the family moved to your district and the PSTC was held in another district, do not report the PSTC code. EMIS language is outcome begin date. We know it as the IEP implementation date or the IEP effective date. They are all the same. This is the date the services begin. This slide refers to what happens when the district is invited to the PSTC and then either suspects a disability, evaluates, finds the child eligible, and implements the IEP, or does not suspect a disability. Districts should contact the EMIS manual and reach out to their EMIS coordinators and the ITC if necessary. District personnel could also visit the EMIS Focused Training webpage, which is linked on this slide, where they'll find links to the presentation, the Q&A, and the session recording for that training. Slides 17 and 18 of that presentation are dedicated to PSTC. This slide and the next identify reporting requirements that involve PSTC. This slide refers to the instances in which the district was invited to the PSTC and either found the child to be ineligible for services, or the district found the child eligible for special education and related services, but the parent refused the services. Again, districts should consult the EMIS manual and reach out to their EMIS coordinators and ITC if necessary. A reminder that the referral date is generally the date the district receives the official invitation to the TPC. An exception to that rule is when the TPC is held over 150 days from the child's 3rd birthday, and then the referral date is the 150th day prior to the 3rd birthday. The Indicator 12 manual is linked here and is also available in your profile. New for this indicator season and moving forward, data is looked at across multiple EMIS fiscal years to ensure that ELSR has the entire story for each child. Previously, data was only observed for the most current EMIS collection year. This resulted in information missing for children and districts. There are different action paths to take depending on the circumstances. Findings may result in a clearance, a verified data reporting error, a noncompliance, or both data reporting errors and noncompliances, depending on what the investigation into the data and related supporting documents shows. It is also possible to be flagged for underreporting. We are not addressing that option in depth in this presentation, as no district in our region was flagged this year. When a district is flagged for further review due to underreporting data in EMIS, the Office of Early Learning and School Readiness will verify early childhood transition data. Your district's special education profile will reflect TBD, to be determined. Although the first step a district takes is to look at records in question, if the district believes that the finding is not due to data error, they will proceed down the districts with non-compliant timelines for Indicator 12 path, as outlined in the manual and the profile. SST involvement is required for the self-review and the development of the improvement plan. If the district suspects that there was a data reporting error, DRE, the district's responsibility is first to look at the records ELSR is questioning, review their own EMIS submissions and supporting documents, and then determine if they should first proceed down the DRE path or go directly to the noncompliance path as outlined in their profile and the manual. Records documentation to substantiate the claim of DRE would need to be uploaded by February 10th if the district chooses the DRE route. SST support is not required, but available. So some tips. Upload the documents to the correct system. Items with personally student identifiable information must be uploaded to the document upload at https://doc.upload.ode.state.oh.us. Complete the record submission form carefully. Unsigned records are not compliant. Enter the IRN correctly and do not abbreviate the district name. Complete this process by February 10th, 2023. If the finding of only a DRE is verified by ELSR, then SST involvement is not required. Complete SRSR Section A in the improvement plan and submit by March 31st, 2023. Your superintendent's signature is required. The systematic improvement process needs to be completed by September 29th, 2023, with the evidence of activities completed and submitted. After the district review of records, or if ELSR's verification process indicates that the district has non-compliant timelines, then follow the directions in that table. It is possible that ELSR will find some records are a data reporting error and others are non-compliant. When there is a finding for non-compliant timelines, the involvement of the SST3 early childhood consultant is required. With SST support, complete Section B of the self-review summary report, the improvement plan, and have them signed by the SST early childhood consultant, Bright Beginnings representative, and the district superintendent, and then submit by March 31st, 2023. A completion of the SRSR requires the team to review possible root causes of noncompliance and also to review and/or revise any interagency agreements that focus on policies, procedures, and practices related to IEP implementation dates for students transitioning from Part C, and to put in place systems and structures to mitigate future noncompliance. The improvement plan must include Ocali transition and interagency agreement training if a district has not yet completed the training. It is possible that ELSR will find some records are a data reporting error and others are non-compliant. There is a table that outlines the process in this case. When there is a finding for non-compliant timelines, the involvement of the SST3 early childhood consultant is required. So with SST support, complete sections A and B of the self-review summary report, identifying the possible root causes of both the data reporting error and the non-compliant timeline. Complete the improvement plan and have the documents signed by the early childhood consultant from the SST, the Bright Beginnings representative, and the district superintendent, and then submit all by March 31st. The involvement of the Bright Beginnings representative is a new process for this year. Note that it is required to include the improvement plan, the Ocali transition and interagency agreement training if the district has not already completed that training. Let's summarize our important dates. February 10th is the day to submit documentation if you believe a data reporting error is in play. March 31st is the date to submit the self-report summary report and the improvement plan. September 29th is the date the systematic improvement documentation and records, including Indicator 12 Systemic Transition Tracking Form, or a statement that no children transitioned, the student record items if non-compliant timelines, and documentation of the district's interagency agreement, which includes a review and revision dates if applicable, and evidence of attending the Ocali transition and interagency agreement training are due. Additionally, make sure you have the documents to support your improvement plan. Sections A and B of the self-review summary report have different questions, but the process is the same. This is a screenshot of Section A, which is completed only if you have ELSR verified data reporting errors. This is a screenshot of Section B, which is completed if you have non-compliant timelines. You procure the SRSR from your profile. These are the directions for completing the self-review summary report. There may be a few different contributors to the non-compliance. New staff, including new EMIS coordinators, a lack of sufficient communication system between ETR, IEP leads, and central office, failure to understand the clarified timelines, scheduling systems that don't take into account or allow enough time to accommodate for inclement weather patterns or staff absences, the ability to pivot to virtual resources when needed, other barriers to timely IEP implementation, such as a requirement for enrollment before beginning services, lack of proper documentation to tell the story, not using appropriate EMIS noncompliance codes or no system to indicate the need for the EMIS code. You may find other system, procedural, or practice barriers. Here's a screenshot of the Indicator 12 improvement plan. These are the directions for completing the improvement plan. When completing the improvement plan, ensure that you have downloaded the improvement plan template for Indicator 12. First, summarize the area of concern. For the reflection, answer Section B, Question 4 only if you have a non-compliance and have written an improvement plan in the last 3 years. Complete the long-term goal and the short-term goal with accompanying activities. The short-term goal and activities must be completed by September 29th, 2023. The long-term goal may not be accomplished by next September. The activities associated with the short-term goal will include a review of policies, practices, and procedures, investigation of records, and a review of district interagency agreement. They may include OCALI transition and interagency agreement training and other professional development. You might include additional activities such as updating district systems, policies, and procedures. Identify the evidence for the completion and the resources needed. The position of the staff managing the implementation is the person whose boots are on the ground doing the work, overseeing the work. The position of the staff responsible may be the special ed director. This is not the same individual that is managing the implementation. Your next step is to contact the SST3 Early Childhood Consultants for support if you have non-compliant timeline findings. Remember, we're available to support with the data reporting errors also. Here are the Indicator 12 resources collected for you on one page. The most useful document will probably be the SST3 SSP APR supports webpage. If you have questions, here's our contact information. We look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.